We are live.
Oh, how about that?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We are Sherry and Lee with Relationship Reinvented and Relationship Reinvented on Facebook and
Lois and Clark.
Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's
a lot of things we are. But
Really?
Of course, we're going to keep this nice and simple and rated PG. There will be no parental guidance though.
No.
Actually, this is our first. We're actually doing the first time we're doing YouTube, and we decided that we were going to reach out and kind of open this up because I think we kind of decided that it made a lot more sense for people to actually see who we are. We've been doing this now for, oh gosh, almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's almost been a year and a half,
and
and we have to say a million thank yous to a million different people. Because
we only have a half an hour. We don't have time to think of million different people.
Okay, well, we love you. That's simple enough.
There it is.
Yes, there's that.
To the million different people.
Oh yeah, and I see you've got your pops and your sound effects and everything else. So, all right. So we are live. So we're going to start this off really soft and simple and talk a little bit about. Well, first of all, I guess we can really talk about what our connection is.
Yes.
And what it actually did. I mean, of course, if you've ever been to relationshipreinvented.com,
nice plug.
The lights come on when you do that. But what we found was that, actually, it really started long before then.
Yeah.
During my awakening process, well, actually, probably before my awakening process, I was writing already.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about what happened to me when I started writing is the voice that came in over top of it really helped me understand my truth, and I had to reach that bottom point. At that point, you would have called me. Well, no, I was a runner at that point. I was a runner pretty much most of the time until I stopped at my tracks and said, you know what, I'm done running. And but there was something mystical or magical.
And I ran.
Well, yeah, you ran after I came back, after I stopped and said, well, wait a minute, what is this connection? And for those of you who don't understand this connection has such a way of really letting you feel another person. It has really nothing to do with what we understand in biology or physics or anything else. It has a lot to do with the core essence of your soul, something that's already inside of you. Not like a soulmate, because a soulmate, I think there's, somebody who completes your sentences and who gives you the butterflies. Well, this is like the never-ending saga of the butterfly effect, meaning that, if you've ever seen the movie Butterfly Effect, he keeps going back and changing things over and over again, things that he wish he could change. In this, you really kind of become exploded. You become a more exploded view of yourself. And it gives you really the opportunity to not just heal those parts of you that weren't connected, but the only way the connection truly works is through the connection you have with yourself.
Exactly.
And what you went through was pretty much the same.
Right. We have our radio show with Trevor and Eileen Build. We do a twin flame discussion every week. Listen in. You can find us at Relationship Reinvented on Blog Talk Radio, or if you're a member of our group or our Facebook page, we always post it there. But we always do a question and answer with Trevor and Eileen, and we always, who, by the way, is another twin flame union. They're wonderful. We love them to death. But we do a lot of questions and answers there. Twin flame question and answers, and this is a little bit different for us.
Well, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you experienced?
Well, what I experienced was, you want me to start from the beginning? I can start from the beginning. When I was a little girl.
Okay, she went all the way back.
I went all the way back.
I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah.
You got to love her for it. Trust me. You know what?
Okay.
You know what?
When I was a little girl, I had this, what I call, I have to explain it as a box, because It was a box. And inside that box was a knowing that there was something more than what I was experiencing watching my parents or my aunts or uncles or anybody, or movies even. I knew that there was something way deeper, a connection so strong that I couldn't even explain it at that age. Unconditional love is exactly it. Unconditional love. Somebody who would love me for everything I had been through, what I was going through, everything that I had done, everything. So, I'm telling everybody about this connection. I wasn't a Barbie doll kind of girl. I was so lost in this dream. And I kept hearing over and over again, that's a fairy tale, that's a dream, that's not real, there's nobody like that out there. There's got to be a connection like this. There's got to be an experience like this. So after so many people telling me it wasn't real, I hid it. Deep down inside me, I closed the box, I threw some ribbons around it, tied it in a bow, and threw it back inside. And years and years down the line, I lived a regular human life, regular marriage, house, white picket fence, kids, the whole deal. And went through a 2-year sabbatical where I really had to go in myself and find myself and deal with a lot of issues that I had had growing up. And I did that. And I emerged from that. And then this guy comes along.
And just so you know, I was the one trapped in the box.
Yeah.
And I guess that's, that's kind of a realization just now.
Yeah.
That maybe I was living all the dreams that you were having inside that box.
Right.
But the problem was everybody I tried to find, I could see what they had in their box, and they just didn't have a full box. You have a full box, and I'm happy to play in your box. Not sure if you all got that,
right.
But that's okay. If you didn't, this is PG.
Next time we're going to have to put the 18 and over.
I told you.
So inevitably, I met Lee, and when I saw in his eyes this kiss, we wrote about this kiss. If you haven't read about the kiss, you should go read about the kiss. The kiss was amazing. The kiss was life-changing. It was life-altering. I saw in his soul when I looked into his eyes. I saw in him. I didn't like what I saw, but I saw what was deeper. It scared me. It scared me when I saw into his eyes. And I knew that there was a bunch of junk in there. I knew that. I was free at this time and able to be with him, and he was not. I didn't know that, but he was not. And what happened was we connected, we disconnected, and I fell back asleep.
Well, the thing about when you become a runner and a chaser, I think, I think that's what they keep calling it this. When I stopped running from myself. Mm. And when I did that, all of the energy of what I had created throughout my existence this time, it was going to come back karmic, of course. Mm-hmm. But it had to go somewhere. Even if I dissolved it and stood in the truth of it, that didn't mean that the energy necessarily dissipated. But what it did do is that all of the little things that she kept inside her that she thought I would never be able to accept her for got worse in her. And it actually made you infected with the energy of what I was removing within myself.
It manifested itself.
It grew into its own energy.
It was destructive.
But it wasn't you. It really. Oh, yeah. So the special effects and the sound effects are all cool, but honestly, that about sums it up. It really does. Just don't doubt that that's not exactly what happened. Not now. Well, okay. So, because in other rooms, she really goes back to being the other way, and that just really kind of happens. So, what ends up happening when I realized that I was telling myself, I wish I was never born. Or I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't the man I knew I needed to be for her. During that time, when I was saying those things, I had to get to the root why. And every time I came to the root why, it was always a lie that I was hiding or keeping hidden from everybody else. And that's really the scariest part of coming out in the twin flame connection. Relationship, connection, union, doesn't matter. You're bonded in a place that really doesn't have truly a word, and we have to choose these words as a way of expressing it. But when I came to that light, and I had told her every truth I could possibly tell her, and it was all out, and she ran. There was something I was left with when she ran. I was free. I was free from my lies. I was free from the pain. I was free because you never really think, do I go into the pain? Or what is this pain? And then when you try to define the pain, your mind comes in and tells you what the pain is. And then it says, well, don't worry, it'll go away in time. A lot of people keep saying things go away in time, but you're timeless. So how can they go away in time? That means you're going to carry them with you throughout time. But if you go into them, you literally find out that you can remove them. And that was one of the most spectacular things that I had ever experienced. And the funny part is after I had released them and she had disappeared out of my life, and I thought, okay, I'll just be here in the background in the silence and just become what we know as God or whatever people call that other place. I ended up just embracing that. But I couldn't stop smiling. Yeah, it was like, okay, she abandoned me. Like, she couldn't abandon me because this connection really you couldn't abandon. And I wasn't about to abandon myself, so I just stood and waited. And when she came back, I was sitting there smiling. I was waiting for you. And what was funny is from 2009 to 2012, we tried to make it work. Not without its problems. And see, some of those infections that I was talking about where, the lies really take over. Especially the karmic lies, the lying and the pains that you probably have caused other people in your entire life, they come back to find you. And even when it's not even something that you're even paying attention to because you've embraced it. So the forgiveness and the acceptance of the self, when you go into the self and you go into the pain, you go through that particular depth that people call dark. Well, you're the light, so just go into the dark. There is no darkness because it can't survive in the light. So when the last time that we had our major split, the running and the chasing, I wasn't running away. I walked away, but I walked behind a gated community and then kind of just held myself, at bay. It was like being in prison, and she ended up finding me anyway. Because I felt her release. I felt what she probably felt when all the lies and all of those truths finally came out. I felt that come from her. And that brought me back because now she really was reborn. Before she was waiting for me to rebirth. And it's hard to trust a cheater. It was, yeah. And especially if that ego of the mindset is of somebody who's always saying to themselves, you stopped doing the things that you did to get me, or you stopped being the way that you wanted to have me, so you must be getting ready to bolt. Because that was what I was used to growing up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched it in every relationship, whether it's my parents or even friends and everybody else. I watched those things happen, so that's what I became in essence. And
this is such a short version. It goes way deeper.
Oh yes.
Way deeper. So this is just a brief background.
Yeah, because it
just goes way deeper. A lot of you out there who have read a lot of our blogs and listened to our radio show know that our union goes way deeper than that. Yeah. And has evolved into Yeah.
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 Yeah, the forever honeymoon stage.
That's the forever honeymoon stage. And it's you know how it feels when you're just first together and it's so lovely, and it's just like that every single day. Every day.
It's like having a day. Yeah, is that what you were trying to do?
No, I don't know if those work. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Experimental, but anyway. What I would hope that you would find by watching this first YouTube that we do together is that there is.
Oh no, that's
yeah.
There it is. That's how it feels.
It feels like this.
That's how it feels.
So you can feel it. Feel it. Just feel the energy that just get
there.
It
Is.
Okay. I was getting a little turned up.
We have way too much fun.
So anyway,
we have way too much fun.
As you can see, that there's a whole lot more to this connection than meets the eye.
We do everything together. Everything together.
And they're going to find that out.
We do not see clients separate. We do not work separately. We work together. We share a cell phone. We share Facebooks. We share emails. There's nothing we do separate from each other. And that sounds like a bad thing to some people, but it's wonderful.
When she says we do everything together, everything. We cook together. We clean together. We go places together. There's when you can be with somebody and you know that you're not afraid to say whatever's in your mind or in your heart or whatever you're feeling, that should be bliss. The freedom that comes with something like that in a connection is free. It's free from anything. It's free from everything. And it gives you the best of nothing.
Really is.
And for those of you that have obtained this connection and have are going through the daily, being together and the waking up every morning with the reset button, and it's just amazing. It is amazing. And the reason we decided to do this was, of course, because you got to have a face to go with what you're actually reading. You've got to have a knowing that, okay, this person may be writing this, but are they truly living it? And we're telling them. We're truly living it. We're really, really in it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know that this is what we're supposed to go to, but when you go here and you just shut this off enough just to feel here, you know that something more is there. You always have. So, we're opening this up. It looks like we actually do have a viewer. Yay. Let's see if we have any questions.
We don't know what we're doing.
No, but
we're learning.
Yes, we are.
We are learning, and we are going to master this. And by next time, are you kidding me?
Ooh,
by next time.
Yes, let's see. Okay, so loading. Okay, so we got to turn that on. You can only turn this feature on or off before. Oh, well, we'll know it next time.
Yeah.
So, but it's really nice though that we do know that somebody else is out there.
Yeah, and we're getting viewers.
Yes.
Viewers.
Yeah, I see them all coming in. So it must be working. So they must be able to hear us, which I think is awesome.
Hey, the chat room's open.
Yes, we also do have. We do have questions that we could read right off of.
Some questions.
Well, okay. Let's see. How about? Jesus. I love this iPad. It does make life easier.
There it is.
Let's see here. This came out. So let's see.
Questions. You know what?
You have a question?
No, but I really do have the best effect for this moment right now.
So we've got, looks like somebody on here messaged and said that they have, their twin is frustratingly but happily waiting for me kindly. What do I do? So...
Yeah, that was from a post that I posted today on the group.
Yeah, I see that. So what is frustratingly happy? What
I was there.
You were?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Give me an example of what that means.
Yeah. you and I were connected,
Okay.
living separate lives,
Okay.
and I was at that point completely believing in the connection,
Okay.
and you were denying it, and
Oh, yeah.
going off and doing what it was you were doing.
Okay.
And I was there.
Is that in '07?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was begging for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't move.
Eh.
You wouldn't move.
Hmm.
So what I could do was frustratingly wait.
And you were frustratingly happy. Okay, so here's the thing I have is that you said that you were frustratingly happy and you were frustratingly waiting, and I didn't believe in a connection. What happened to me when I didn't believe in the connection is the connection kept trying to get me to understand what it was.
Right.
But the problem with that is I was still inside the box.
Yes.
So only until you went in and called to me inside the box was I ever going to hear you.
Right.
I just didn't understand that. And every time you did, I felt a pull. I felt something in me say, "Oh Jesus, what the hell is this?" Mm-hmm. And I could feel the pain, and I would keep doing what I was doing, thinking that probably I was in poor health or something was wrong. The best thing that worked for me at that point in time was either drinking or taking something that would make the pain go away.
Numbing.
So numbing myself
numbing your
from
mind.
it, which is, I've seen, we've coached people that are going through that.
Right.
And the thing about that numbing thing is you can get knocked out of it.
Oh.
Because when you did knock me out of it, it wasn't you who knocked me out of it. It was my connection to myself that knocked me out of it. It told me that what I was doing was definitely, it was almost like an emotional breakdown of some kind. Mm-hmm. And when I would talk to you, you could tell I was very bipolar back then. Not only just bipolar, I was if I didn't want to be with me. Right. So if I didn't want to be with me, I knew that, there's no way in hell nobody else could. And I think that's when I moved out. At that time, moved out the person I was living with. Mm-hmm. And then I started to really become more aware of the connection. And I decided that, I want to be with you. But by then,
I was married to somebody else.
Yeah, and then I told you were pregnant. You told me I was lying, and I told me that I was wrong. Yeah. Then I kept feeling a little tiny heartbeat in here, and the next thing you know, you said, I'm pregnant. And I said, I told you. But anyway, that's kind of how that went. But it was an amazing experience, and we're going
looking
to
back on it now. Going through it, it was an amazing experience.
You know what? Even if we say that,
it didn't feel like an amazing.
No, it really doesn't. And most people.
But it was.
Most people who are going through it right now are saying this is a mess. Why would I ever want to be in this connection? And da 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 da. Mm-hmm. If you are selected to have this connection, or this connection is something that has come into your life, it is there on purpose. Mm-hmm. Because you need to connect to yourself because of what you have been through. You can teach, you can give the energy to others to help them heal what they haven't healed in them. And they'll be very much a mirror of exactly what you went through. Yes. Because I have a lot of answers now as to why I did things. And even when we had guided somebody recently who he was womanizing like crazy. And really when I started asking the questions of, okay, so tell me what it is, why you keep going from this person to this person to this person to this person. And he said, because I know they're going to leave me. I said, who's telling you that? He said, well, and he was paused. Yeah. He was like, and I said, so who's telling you they're going to leave you? Well, they all leave. Well, who left you first? My mom did. Okay, so you're blaming the entire female race on what your mother did? Well, she didn't love me. If she couldn't love me, who can? Right. And I said, right. So who can love you if your mother didn't? And he said, nobody. And I said, wait a minute. Who's saying nobody and who is nobody? And he said, well, I'm saying nobody, and I don't understand what your line of questioning is really trying to get me to.
He
And
didn't even love himself.
it was fun, yeah. And then I said, so what about
Yeah.
the love you give to yourself? And he goes, oh, I love myself. I said, yeah, really? So if you're choosing to love yourself, you're choosing to also spread yourself all over the place where you're never going to feel love back in return. Ouch. And that was kind of one of those things where and it shook him, because then, you know, he said, well, I don't think you guys are helping me. He left, and then he came back and he goes, okay, how do I love myself?
Yeah.
It was just, you know, we thought, oh man, we really put him through it. But at the same time, putting you through it really gives you the truth. And when you're doing something and you're hurting others and you see yourself in a certain light, you're gonna hurt others. I mean, that's what I did. I lived in the dark and played in the dark. And I was good at playing in the dark. Problem was I was running with the light.
Right.
And I was in a box where I had a bunch of information that I didn't even know where it came from. Or I had dreams that I didn't know where they came from. But I did what I thought was right at that time. So what ended up happening to him, of course, is now he is actually committed. He slowed down and you know, he said, I'm committing to myself. And somebody's recently started seeing somebody, and he's starting to feel a little bit more alive, but he's realized that there is something he's giving himself now. And it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. And it's amazing
to watch him.
It's amazing to help.
Now he's so evolved in who he is.
Well, you have to, if you never take them to their truth, if you never find your truth, that's a lie. You know your truth. We talked to somebody again tonight who even was just like, well, I know my truth, but I'm living a lie.
Right.
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da. Wait a minute, we need applause or something, because it's like, okay, you know your truth.
We all do it. We all
do it, but we all just can't accept that people will love us for our truth. And they can. They really can. And we're proof of that.
We really are.
Yeah. And that's why we decided to do this show. We're
and
doing
this one was like the test one. So fun. I'm
going
to love this.
I think.
I'm going to love this.
I know we will. I think we're really going to, hopefully we'll go ahead and bring you some messages. Now, remember, below, you can go ahead and write out if you'd like for us to talk about a particular topic. You can do it that way, or you can find us on, of course, Google+, but you can also find us on Facebook. We are in the Relationship Reinvented groups. It is a private group, or a closed group, but it's got 1,700 and growing.
Yeah, 1,700 and growing every day.
And then we've got relationshipreinvented.com, where there are different ways to get in contact with us. And we just launched twinflames.me, which we launched a week ago, and we already got, 1,700 there too. The thing is I believe what we're bringing is a fresh outlook. It is a fresh outlook. It's a fresh outlook. Because we really didn't go out there to research information.
Yeah, we just don't do that.
No, we just kind of, we were told not to. Yeah. I know I was told not to from energy when I sleep. It just told me to stay away from it because it would skew what I was learning and what I had to learn to go through. But you can fix you. You can fix your connection to yourself.
Which fixes your connection with your twin.
Oh my gosh, does it ever? Yes. Beyond your imagination it does. And the thing is when you trust in energy will never let you down. Right. I mean, that's what created nature, and that's what created everything here. You just have to believe that. You don't need a belief in anything else. You don't have to go search the answers. The answers are already inside of you. And if you haven't been able to pull those answers out, that's why we're here. There was a question on our Facebook page earlier. It's a very simple question. It was very simple. Are twin flames real? Ooh. Twin flames are as real as your heartbeat. And if you believe in your heartbeat and you believe that you can stop your heartbeat, then yeah, you probably don't believe in twin flames. Oh. Did you catch that? Let me say that again. I did. Anyway, what I'm saying is the belief of twin flames has to come from inside you. if you believe that you are flame already, then what would ignite your flame?
Right.
If you connect
That's
to yourself,
amazing.
you can raise your own flame.
That's beautiful.
And when you raise your own flame, you call to the other one, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
And there are some people who are here on the planet who have that combined.
And
they're already here in an actual being.
And the connection doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
You can't wish it away. You can't think it away.
Now you can live separate from your twin once you've connected.
Sure, be unhappy.
You can do that.
Sure, be unhappy.
You can do that. However, the connection never goes away. You want to know how we know? We tried it.
Choice.
We tried it.
It's all about choice. It is about choice, and it's about redemption. And it is about embracing what you really truthfully don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the unknown is exactly where this points. If you say that, there's even a false twin flame and a twin flame. A false twin flame is like saying that, when he sneezes, I lose a lung. That doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
Because this connection is embedded in your being. It's embedded in your spark. It's not embedded in your mind. If you're trying to think your way into this relationship, don't worry. Your thinking will help you think a way out of it, because that's what it's good for.
Right.
Your thinking will keep you apart.
The mind has no business here.
It does. It has no business here. Sweetie, tell the truth. And here's the truth. The truth is, did you or did you not fall in love with my ego?
Oh, yeah.
Because it comes with the package. You can't remove it.
I was going to say because it's sexy, but it's kind of not.
It really isn't.
It's kind of not.
It has its moments.
I guess the mind does have a place here. It's just the thinking that doesn't.
It's
the thinking.
Yeah.
Just
maybe what we should do here is we should also say what we say ego is.
Yes.
Ego is how you view, interact, and communicate in the world of form. Because if you've had things that have happened to you, whether it be that your mother and father abandoned you, whether it be your father was emotionally detached, whether it be you were abused, whether it be physically, sexually, whatever it is, that skewing of the ego tells you to defend or offend yourself. And everybody that you view from that point on, your trust factor is now non-existent.
Yeah.
In some cases, it's skewed. Some cases, you just stopped going with this feeling because this feeling wasn't there to protect you when you were violated in the first place.
Right.
So your ego is everything that you interact with in the world. It's not, I drive a nice car, I got a nice big house, I got an ego. That's not what ego is to us, because we actually finally got to see it outside of itself. And actually, we had several dreams where we got in a fight with our ego. If you've ever had the dream where you're separated from yourself and you're fighting and you keep losing, that's you fighting, and that's the ego who's winning, by the way. And you're the one that suffers the consequences. The good choice there is to just die. Just lay down and die. Let the ego win. When you let the ego win, what does it have to fight?
Ah.
Yeah, you did that. I did that.
Oh, I did it.
And it was funny because you thought if the ego, when you thought the ego would win, you thought, oh, he'll never be with me now. And what ended up happening, I went over to the one that was laying there and I picked her up. That's what bring you to life meant. Yes. And that's exactly what I did. Yay!
It's been quite a journey.
And yes, we will be doing this again. Again, this is our first time. We really do appreciate being out here and being able to talk.
I don't know how I put this on you.
You don't need to put that on me. You keep that. Anyway, it has been wonderful.
It's been great.
And thank you guys so much, and thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reaching out, because that's the first step in the right direction, especially since what we're here to do is help you find you to connect to you. And once you've done that, the rest does itself.
All of our clients that are listening and watching, we love you all. You're amazing. We have the most amazing client base and the most amazing friends. We call you all our family.
And we want to keep growing.
And
so the rest of you, reach out.
Thank you so much for all your kind words, all your emails, all that. We cannot say thank you enough. All of you in the Netherlands, hello. We're kind of a big deal there.
No. We're a big deal everywhere.
That, my friends, is ego.
But we hope to, of course, see you all again. We're going to try to do this at least once a week.
Once a week.
So if you have
send
questions.
Send questions.
And we can talk about anything. We don't have an ego to hide behind anymore.
And
that's kind of why we decided
trust issues are gone.
Yeah.
And they're gone. So we're able to go back and visit and talk about things.
And one last thing.
Freely.
We actually took what we went through and created a healing series out of it. Because it really was the steps that we went through to get to where we were able to be together. We made it so it actually has to take you into places deep down inside, in the dark places. And some of those dark places, coming out of it after you go through it, you're not the same. You can never be the same. And that's the templates of what we have that we get to access being here as humans. So
we got some exciting things coming up, so watch out for some webinars and some seminars and some workshops and some live.
And we still have been doing
live video chatting.
We still are continuing to give as much as we get, and that continues.
Yes,
so
that
please,
will always continue. If you need us, just reach out to us.
Right.
And you can find us again at www.relationshipreinvented.com.
Why do you always add the www?
Because
Nobody does that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's
is
just
that
relationship.
Is that an old thing?
It's an old thing. The www kind of went the way of the dinosaur. It's kind of like it's kind of like saying you want to still use a rotary phone.
Oh, that's like.
Anyway.
I might still have one of those in the garage, so.
I don't know what garage you're going to. It must be someplace up north because it ain't here. Thank you guys very much.
RelationshipReinvented.com.
Yes, there you go. Look at you. You're
there
learning. If you just type that in, it comes right up. It was formerly known as ClarkKent07.wordpress.com. If you notice, there was no www before any of it.
Yeah.
So things have changed, and of course, we're going to be here to. We're here to stay. We're here to make sure that there is an archive for you to go to. We're making sure that there is information that you can really deep dive into, so that way you can really find that place inside you that the truth can be found. The
truth. I was waiting for that. The truth.
Yeah.
The truth. The truth. We know it's the truth.
That's actually next month.
Because, is it? Truth
Standing
is next
Truth for April. Yep.
I'm excited about truth.
Well, right now, let's see, so far this year we've done abandonment.
Pain and suffering?
Pain and suffering. And trust. And standing truth. And it goes on and on.
Yeah.
If you're really interested in that, you can actually check relationshipreinvented.com.
Healing series is on there. You still got plenty of time to get in there.
Yeah.
To get in there, get caught up.
But thank you guys again for tuning in, and
so much great stuff to come.
So Lois and Clark, here we are.
And here we go.
Bye-bye. Okay.